welterweight contender Robert Guerrero is trying to sever ties with his promoter, Golden Boy. And the latest news is that he basically went to the California State Athletic Commission and he requested assistance basically from them to try and prove that the contract that he has with Golden Boy is unenforceable or invalid, or there's some type of problem with it. And basically the California Athletic Commission said that when the contract was drawn up, it gave jurisdiction to New York, not to the California Commission. So they can't do anything about it, basically. So he's now going to have to go to New York and deal with their commission up there to see if they will, you know, help him out in getting out of the contract, basically. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I can't use all the legal terms and I don't understand law, especially not American law, as well as some other people do. The Wire has done an excellent video on this, and I'll leave a link in the comment section below, in the description below. Sorry, I'll leave a link to The Wire's video below. And he goes into the legal side of things a lot more deep than I could, obviously, because The Wire is actually a lawyer and he's worked with a lot of boxers. So that's the situation as it stands at the moment. Guerrero is still under contract with Golden Boy, and he's going to have to speak to the New York Commission if he believes there's a problem with the contract. Now, what is unclear is why, the true motivation, why does Robert Guerrero want to sever ties with Golden Boy? Golden Boy has, in the industry, a very good reputation in terms of the way they treat their fighters. Very few fighters have come out and said that they were ripped off by Golden Boy or this, that, or the other. So, relatively speaking, they've got a good reputation in the boxing industry. So, it's unclear as to why Guerrero wants to leave. It's not like in years gone by when a fighter would have an issue with Don King, he would publicly come out and say, Don King's trying to rip me off, so I want out of the contract. Now, it's possible that that could be going on with Golden Boy, but, you know, because a lot of the time when you're dealing with these legal issues, there's gagging orders. People can't speak. Their mouths are zipped shut until the case has been resolved in the court or whatever. So it's possible that there's some legal issues that they're not, you know, some money issues they're not talking about. But I suspect it's not so much about money. And again, this is pure speculation. So feel free to disagree and give your own theory or give your own insight if you've got more inside knowledge about the situation than me. But I suspect that the reason why Guerrero wants to leave Golden Boy is because after he lost to Mayweather, obviously he was devastated and his confidence was very low because he truly believed he was going to win that fight. Remember, Robert Guerrero is a religious man. Right? He believes in Christ and whatnot. So he truly believed that God, I mean, he said it before the fight, that God was going to give him the victory over Floyd Mayweather. So mentally, he may not be in a very good place. You know, he may have not been in a very good place after he lost to Mayweather. It's similar to when Prince Nassim lost to Barrera. Prince Nassim always used to say that his God would never allow him to lose. So when you place that much faith in your own ability and you lose, especially when you lose in a one-sided manner that Guerrero lost in, it can be very difficult psychologically to get over that. So I think Guerrero was in a bad place mentally after the Mayweather beating, and he wanted a nice, easy comeback fight to get his confidence back. But instead of that, Golden Boy, and more specifically Richard Schaefer, offered him a fight with Keith Thurman, which Guerrero turned down. But Richard Schaefer then came out publicly and announced that Guerrero had turned the fight down. And this is Guerrero's own promoter coming out publicly and saying this. That's very unusual for that to happen, for a guy's own promoter to come out and say, you know, this guy turned down a fight. And to me, it seems like Schaefer was trying to put pressure on Guerrero to take the Keith Thurman fight. He was trying to put pressure on him by coming out publicly and saying that Guerrero would turn the fight down. And he did it several times. It's as if he was trying to make Guerrero look like a pussy so that Guerrero would take the bait and say, you know what, fuck it, I'll take the fight. So I don't think Guerrero liked that. I think he felt like Golden Boy were now trying to use him as an opponent to bring Keith Thurman's career along. I think that's how Guerrero felt. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Keith Thurman is fully a Golden Boy fighter or not. I believe he kind of works with different promoters, as far as I know. I'm not sure if he's fully signed to Golden Boy. If you have any more concrete information on that, please fill me in. But as far as I know, Keith Thurman is kind of semi-independent and he works with different promoters. But anyway, he has a good relationship with Golden Boy. So Schaefer was really trying to push for this Keith Thurman Guerrero fight. Guerrero didn't like it. He thought, you know what, these guys are trying to use me as an opponent. They know that my confidence is low coming off the Mayweather fight, and they're trying to rush me right back into a tough fight against a hard puncher who's knocking everyone out. I don't like it. They don't have my best interests at heart. And I think that's the reason, especially when Schaefer came out publicly and said Guerrero don't want the Thurman fight. I think that left a bitter taste in Guerrero's mouth, and he thought, you know what, no, I don't like this. I don't like what they're trying to do. And that's when he went to his people, or maybe his people came to him and said, you know what, let's try and find a way out of this contract, because we don't believe that this promoter has our best interests at heart anymore. That's my interpretation of what's going on. I could be wrong. I do not have the inside track on the whole situation. I'm not in the Guerrero camp. I'm not in the Golden Boy team, obviously. So I don't know. I'm just speculating from what I see from the outside. But that's my best interpretation of the situation. I think it's to do with the fact that Guerrero no longer feels like he's being nurtured by Golden Boy. I think at this stage he feels like they're trying to use him to bring another fighter along. And it has to be said that before the Mayweather fight, Guerrero was always treated very well by Golden Boy. At least publicly, that's what we saw. We saw him being treated well. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes, obviously, but it seems like he's always been treated well by them. And obviously, they did extremely well to get him a Mayweather fight after he beat Selcock Hayden and Andre Berto, because Hayden and Berto are not elite fighters. You know, they are not elite fighters. I mean, Victor Ortiz already smashed up Andre Berto. Luis Collazo really and truly was the first man to beat Andre Berto in all but the official status of it. You know, Berto was coming off a long layoff and a drugs ban and all kind of stuff. And a loss. You know, so the Berto fight was not impressive. Jesus Soto Karass did a better job on Andre Berto than Robert Guerrero did. Selcock Hayden as well. Hayden is not an elite fighter, never has been. And Guerrero barely scraped by Hayden. That fight was very close. That could have gone either way. And again, Jesus Soto Karass did a better job on Selcock Hayden than Guerrero did. So Golden Boy did extremely well to get Guerrero a Mayweather fight based on those two performances. They did extremely well. So, you know, up until the Mayweather fight, it seemed like they've treated him exceptionally. But after that, I guess he feels like he's being thrown to the wolves and that they've lost faith in him, and, you know, they're trying to throw him straight back into a tough fight, and he don't like that. He wants to be treated with the same kid gloves that he was treated with prior to the Mayweather fight. So, I don't know, man. That's just my interpretation of the situation. And when I say kid gloves, I'm talking about relatively speaking, because it all depends on the situation. I'm not saying that Andre Berto and Selcock Hayden are soft touches or anything like that. End of the day, Guerrero was coming up 2 weight divisions when he fought those guys. So I'm not saying that they're soft touches, but at the time, Guerrero's confidence was high and he was willing to take a risk. So that's the situation, you know, that it was. And he was looking for tough fights to prove himself. Whereas after the Mayweather fight, it was clear that his confidence was going to be low. You know, Guerrero is a religious guy, and when someone's faith in themselves is shattered the way that Guerrero's must have been after he lost to Mayweather, then a guy can have confidence issues. So I'm sure he expected Golden Boy to understand that and to try and take it gently and ease him back into, you know, a competition by giving him some easier opponents rather than just throwing him straight back in with Keith Thurman, you know. So anyway, let me stop rambling. That's my interpretation of the situation. Let me know how you feel, if you've got a different interpretation or if you agree. Drop your comments below. This is Hatman. I'm out.